Well, whether you are designing and building a new home or maybe doing a little remodeling around the house, the buzzword today is green. You hear it all the time, but what does it really mean? What are you required to do? What's optional? Does it make good dollars and cents? Well, you got to ask Greg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design and Remodeling here if you really want to get the straight scoop on that. Good to see you again.
Good morning.
Murray Lampert around for how many years now?
37 years,
30?
almost 38.
So it's a name that everybody knows and trusts. So when we want to know the straight scoop on this stuff, that's when we ask you in. When people are remodeling right now, what's the hot thing in terms of green products and so forth that they're putting into their homes?
Well, tighter building, in other words, thicker insulation, caulking, foaming, better glazing on windows. Those kind of things have little impact on the cost of construction, but a good builder will provide those as part of their package.
Now, do you need to ask specifically? Because, again, you say if it's not going to add significantly to the cost of something, then I assume most people would want to do that. But do you have to ask?
We always ask, and there is a price associated with some things, so I always ask, how green do you want to be?
Okay. Now, if you decide to do some of these things, some are actually required by law, are they not? Like low-flow toilets and that type of thing?
They are, and water conservation is actually being ratcheted up a little bit, which isn't a bad thing because the less water you use, the water bills are expensive. So if you're wise about using faucets that are low flow and toilets and those things, it's going to actually save you money over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to the point really where the water bill, I know, for me out in the East County, is so prohibitive that anything you can do to save water kind of pays off for itself in a very short period of time quite often.
It does, and another requirement in some cities is actually to capture the runoff from roofs and drainage and actually keep it within your property. And the reason for that is they're trying to prevent the water going into the storm systems and polluting the storm systems.
Okay, so just a lot of things to keep in mind if you're maybe adding on or thinking about building a home. Now, the state, again, is requiring what in general right now?
Well, Cal Green is the regulatory body that regulates green building, and this year some new initiatives came through, and next year some more. Actually, the amount of water in faucets, the flow rate is going to go down in another year. And also, excuse me, and also the air quality, we have to provide documentation on the products we use because there's VOCs. It's sort of like...
Now, the VOCs, those are gases that come off of products.
Correct.
And they end up, inside your house, trapped in your house, or they end up out in the atmosphere as well.
Absolutely. It's sort of like new car smell.
There you go. That's a great way to describe it.
So particle boards and carpets even, sometimes off gas, and there's going to be requirements that the paperwork to prove that it's under the level that's allowable we have to give to our homeowners.
So folks, to kind of keep current with all this stuff, I really would suggest maybe if you're talking about doing any designing, any remodeling, any building, talk to some experts and talk to some folks that have been around a while, like Greg Cantor from Murray Lampert Design and Remodeling, and get the straight scoop. They'll tell you what's required, and then they'll give you lots and lots of options. Now, there are lots of options for folks. Like solar, for example, is an option, which right now with all the incentives does seem to make good dollars and cents.
Well, there's government rebates and great leasing programs, and the cost of the equipment is actually going down too, so it's a good time to take a look at that. With rates, with financing being so low, there's probably never a better time to do it.
And talk about going green. I mean, if you can basically stop pulling energy from the grid and actually start putting it back into the grid.
Absolutely. And then you control, basically, if the rates go up on your gas and electric, you're in full control of that.
So it kind of puts you in the driver's seat. So again, it's this whole conversation to have. Now, when folks are talking about doing some designing, doing some remodeling, you sit down from the very concept, and you can walk them all the way through, right?
Yes, we meet in their home, and we find out what our clients want to do and what their budget is, and we design within that budget. We show elevations and renderings of all the work, and we come up with the numbers that are firm numbers from the very beginning.
And a nice time schedule for folks too that you really like to stick to, which is that's one of people's biggest pet peeves, biggest nightmare stories.
Time and budget.
Time and budget, exactly. Well, that's why Murray Lampert Design and Remodeling has been around 37 years here in San Diego, and 37 more and right on into the future past that. And who knows what we'll be talking about then.
Yeah,
we're talking about solar power now. And
it gets exciting, all the new technologies that come forward.
All right, folks, well, we want you to be excited too. So whenever you're talking about that design and remodeling, give Greg Cantor a call. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
As always. All right, for more information, just go to san diego6.com, click on San Diego Living, get you hooked up immediately.